The Lord is still searching today for the people that love Christ, that have the gospel, that hate evil, and they will rise up to take his mind, his word, his will, his ways to everyone around, searching. Psalm 14 verse 2. It says in Psalm 14 verse 2, the Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did righteousness and seek God. Still searching, the search for a man after God's heart. The question is, will you be available? Will they find you saved, ready to serve, not just thinking about yourself, thinking about the plan of God, the plan of salvation, about the purpose of God, why Christ died on the cross of Calvary. A man whose heart had been touched and transformed by the Lord. Psalm 51 verse 10 tells us about the prayer and the passion, the desire of David. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. He already had a heart seeking God passionately, pursuing after everything the Lord desired. He strayed, and then he knew that even after going astray, what God will still be looking for will be the heart following after God. And he said, "Oh God, forgive, pardon, cleanse, and create in me a clean heart, O God." And the Lord can do that. And the Lord will do that for everyone that seeks the Lord with all our heart, all our soul, that you want to be a man, a woman, after or with a godly heart. In Ezekiel chapter 36, reading from verse 25, "Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you." It's the work of God, but we desire and we decide and we're desperate about it, to want this kind of heart that will be centered and will be focused on wanting to do the will of God. It says in verse 26, a new heart also will I give you. He desires to do that, because if he doesn't do that, he cannot use us. The heart that is bent on his self-will, the heart that is bent on having as much of the world as he could have, that heart will not be used for heavenly glory, but the heart that is centered on the glory of God, seeking the glory of God in your heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. Why? Oh, because that's what made Saul fall. The stony heart, the stubborn heart, the self-will, the seeking for self-glory. Honor me, glorify me before the people. But you've gone astray, you've sinned. Yes, I know that, Samuel, I have sinned, but all the same, I need self-esteem. Self-will dictated his life. Self-glory dictated his life. That's why, if we're not going to be like Saul, he wants to take away the stony heart out of our flesh. And I will give you an heart of flesh. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. We human beings are so short-sighted, we're so carnal, that the first thing we look at, you see a person for the first time, you look at the face, you look at the height, you look at the stature, you look at his constitution, and then when he opens his mouth to talk, you look at his communication ability, you look at his natural talent, and when he walks, you look at the way he walks, and when he does anything, the smile, plastic smile, and the training is trained the external, but the heart is not after God's heart. It's not a godly heart. It's not a saved, transformed heart. And even Samuel looked upon the stature, and he said, the anointing of the Lord is before me. But God said, no, look not on his stature, and look not on his countenance, for the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. When God looks at you, that's what you'll be looking for. Saved, cleansed, washed, committed to the glory of God and his glory alone. A guided heart. The guided heart is there that says, there are many things in life I do not know. What do I know of tomorrow? What do I know of the future? I want to do anything, I must be guided. The person I see, the people that come around, the people that seem to follow, and the people that seem to sing Hosanna, and they praise the man today. What do I know what they'll say and do tomorrow? A guided heart. We need that. We're not just looking at their facial appearance or their great promises or the possibilities in their lives and the positive attitude they might have while we interact with them. Look at David when he was telling the testimony of what the Lord had done through him in 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 34. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. Thy servant kept his father's sheep. Well, if you've seen a man deranged, a man having mental instability, you've seen a man void of the Spirit of God, you've seen a man in an earlier chapter, in chapter 16, having the spirit of the devil tormenting him, but he was still king. And he brought David. David was the fellow that had played on the harp, and God used that inspired music to deliver Saul at that time, and he became well and refreshed. Now this David came to the fearful, trembling king, and he said, thy servant. He wasn't exalting himself above Saul, because of what he knew about Saul. This is the man that God will use, not arrogating to themselves so much superiority, selfless. The servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. A lamb out of the flock. 35, and I went out after the lion, after the bear, and smote him, and delivered each the sheep out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. This is a man that will not regard his own life, his own safety, his own security. This is a man that will not run when he saw the devastating, destroying lion or bear come to take just one lamb. If he wanted to have self-protection, he could have said, just one. I'm not going to, endanger my life because of what just one lamb, and because of just one sheep. Let that go. Well, the lion will come again and take that one, let that go. The lion will come again, the bear will come, take that one, let that go. Eventually, he will not be a faithful watchman over the sheep and the flock of his father. But because he was selfless, and he gave his very life as God guided him. A selfless man, a man after God's heart, a man with a godly heart, and a man that had the heart that is guided by God. Thy law is within my heart. When you come to the New Testament, that's what the Lord is looking for. He's looking for a heart that is yielded unto the Lord. There are fruits of the Spirit, there are gifts of the Spirit. There are people who overlook the fruit of the Spirit. All they are running after, the gift of the Spirit. Would you know, brothers and sisters, somebody may have the gifts of the Spirit. If he does not have the fruit of the Spirit, he still will not get to heaven. Somebody may have the fruit of the Spirit, may not have the gifts of the Spirit, he will get to heaven. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we're reading from verse 1. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 1, though I speak of the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, the love of God, agape love in the heart, I am become as a sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. Look at verse 2. It says, and though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, agape love, the love of God in my heart, I am nothing. Look at verse 3. In verse 3, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burnt, and have not love, charity, it profited me nothing. Look at verse 4. The fruit of the Spirit, love, and joy, and peace, and long-suffering, and meekness, and faith, fidelity, and temperance, self-control is the fruit of the Spirit that counts. And that is the evidence we have the love of God in our heart, we have a heart that is passionately panting after the Lord.